I'm a coordinator for the Literacy Pittsburgh career classes, and I'll be facilitating today. Our speakers are Steve Mazza. Is it Mazza or Matza?
Mazza, depending on what part of the country you come from.
Yep.
Hi, everyone.
Our speaker today is Steve Mazza. We also have Deidra on the list to speak about Intro to the Construction Trades. We're going to have about maybe 15 minutes of presentation from Steve, followed by roughly 10 minutes of Q&A. After the speakers, please don't leave right away. We do want to get a form from you that says who you're interested in hearing from and giving them permission to reach out to you. So be sure to stay and fill that out before you leave. Our first speaker, Steve Mazza, is the council representative for the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters. With more than 25 years experience in the building trades, Steve's career began as an apprentice with the Carpenters Union Local 142. In that time, he has worked with contractors, engineers, architects, union leadership, and union members. He has served many roles at Local 142, including vice president and currently recording secretary. Before being promoted to council representative, Steve worked on many significant union projects throughout the region, including PNC Park, Heinz Field, and the Heinz History Center. He is a longtime member of the Allegheny County Labor Council and is a 20th Ward committee person for nearly 15 years. Steve works tirelessly toward strengthening the community through both volunteer and organized efforts. Thank you, Steve, for joining us. It's all yours.
Okay, just to upgrade my bio, that's an old one. It's okay. I mean, it's no big deal. I just upgraded it last week, but I do work with the elected officials from Harrisburg and over on the western part of this, on this side of the state. I've been in the Carpenters Union for 36 years. You know, I'm on multiple different things. I do multiple, different things with developers. But we're here to talk about what you want to hear is about our organization. We approximately have 5,500 members in and around the city of Pittsburgh. My council consists of 6.5 states, which would be Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, DC, West Virginia, Maryland, and parts of North Carolina. So you can work in any of those areas, and any carpenter, once you're in an organization, can work anywhere across the country. We have total portability, which means you can work in any jurisdiction once you become a carpenter. Basically, we take in apprentices every month. We have an information meeting the second Tuesday of every month, which you would log on to our website, Eastern Atlantic States website. You go to apprenticeship and training, and then there's a link you click on, and you join that meeting on the second Tuesday. I think it's at 6 p.m. and you listen to what we have to offer. We're carpenters, millwrights, pile drivers, floor covers, commercial carpenters, anything. That's all under the carpenter umbrella. We are the biggest organization, around here. Obviously, we have 50,000 members in those 6 states. So we do an awful lot of training. We spend about $250 million every year on training from our international spends. And the International Training Center is located in Las Vegas. It's not because everybody wants to go to Las Vegas. It's about the ability to get there the easiest. And when we train out there, I go approximately twice a year. It's all training. We go on a Wednesday, Thursday. We start 7 a.m. We're done training at 5. Then we have the evening to ourselves. That happens 3-4 days. But we're all business. We believe in training people, bringing people into our organization, no matter where you come from. So basically, as a first-year apprentice, if you would get into the program, let me go back right there. Let's say you join the information meeting. You have a week to click onto a link, and then they'll assign you an interview time. We interview everybody that signs up, regardless who you are and or what you want to be. We find that out, and then if you need other training, we have another pre-apprenticeship program called CARP, which is Carpenter Apprentice Readiness Program, and that teaches you the soft skills and to see if you actually want to be a carpenter. The cohort is only 20 people. The next one is I believe it starts in January, but we interview for that as well. If you need, if you want to see what you want to do or you don't have any skills. So we could figure that out during the interview. So once you get that interview, you come in, we talk to everybody. If we think you're not ready, we'll suggest either the CART program or to apply. If you don't get it the first time, doesn't mean that we don't want you. We want, and the more, if you come back again, that means that you really want to be a carpenter, and we'll help you with any resource we can. Our school does 250 days of outreach every year. We have probably 1,200 apprentices in our program right now. It's located in Robinson Township. And we probably have 5-year, first-year apprentices. So it's an opportunity. I say we're the best trained out there. That's my personal opinion, but it's really the truth because we do the most on any project. We work on from pile driving, which is, what your building is built on, to the foundation, which is concrete package. And then we move on and we do all the floor coverings, like your carpet you have, the VCT, which is a linoleum, to the metal studs, drywall, ceilings, roofs. That's what we train on. 75% of our apprentices work steady all the time. And 75% of our work is on interior finishes, which is metal studs, drywall. A lot of people think that we build houses. Probably 1% of our market share is in residential construction. We do work with high-end contractors on your multi-million-dollar homes and things like that. But most of our work is in colleges, hospitals, on all the big buildings that you see going up, like if you see FMB Tower in downtown Pittsburgh, multi-family projects, which is multiple apartments, like in the Strip District, if you've ever been there. The airport was one of our big projects, but we work on all the big projects. And you do become a member. And once we become a journeyman, it's a 4-year apprenticeship program. You have to work so many hours a year, and you have to train so many hours a year, and that's the rules of the Department of Labor. So we follow those, and let me see. So once you're a member, we'll say like this, that our training is offered to you anytime. If you work with concrete most of your career, you never worked, in interior systems, you can come in for training. When we have a class, we have scaffold classes, we have road and bridge work. We do a lot of construction out here. So we have, probably 1,000 members that live in the city of Pittsburgh. You do need transportation. I'm not going to say you don't need it, but you have to get to the project. Most of we don't work in zip codes, or we don't work where we live. A lot of times we have to travel half an hour to an hour or 75 miles one way to get to a project. And a contractor might move you around to different projects, multiple projects. You might not stay in that project until that project is finished. So you think about it, in your apprenticeship, you'll work steady as long as you come to work with a good attitude. You have, you're clean, you're presentable. A lot of our jobs could be in office settings where there's women working. There's different ways you have to present yourself. We work in a convention center with trade shows. There's a lot of women that run the trade shows. So we always have to be professional and look professional. And a lot of times the reason why people lose or get laid off, and everybody gets laid off in this profession. You don't show up for work. You're late. You have a bad attitude. that superintendent or your boss is going to notice that, and that we don't want that to happen to you. We want you to succeed. We're here to help you. We have mentorship programs. Every apprentice that comes in is assigned with a mentor to help them get through the process. If they have questions, a lot of people have family issues. A lot of people have different issues. We have member assistance programs. We have training programs in Vegas, leadership, all those things to try to maintain our membership. We don't want to lose anybody because it's important. We've been around since 1881. That's when the Carpenters Union was formed by a guy named Peter J. McGuire, who started it. He started the first Labor Day parade, all these things. And we want to retire with dignity. So once you become a member, you have your paycheck, you have your pension, it's like a 401k that's paid into as well, and you have medical. Now, to get your medical, you have to work so many hours when you first start out, and then you'll be, I think it's like 900 hours or so, then you'll be eligible for the medical. And then you have to work so many hours per period to keep that medical, or you would have to make a self-payment. So there's a lot of things there to try to understand. But remember, get on our website, Eastern Atlantic State's website, and go to Apprenticeship and Training in Pittsburgh, and the site will come up, or you can call our training center. I'm not sure what the training center number is to figure that out, but there are opportunities there, and if anybody has any questions.
There was a question here. Thank you so much.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. What level of math is needed to be successful as a carpenter?
We can teach you math any day. Well, that's what we do. I mean, basically what you should know, if you don't know, it's algebra, geometry. There is a little bit of trigonometry in there, but everything is based on a triangle, plumb level square, pi, 3.14, all those things. That's what we do. So it's hypotenuse of a right triangle is basically what we teach, and our people at our training center will teach you that. And I wouldn't be nervous about that. So when you do come in for the interview, there is a sample test on the site as well. It doesn't give you the answers, but to let you know what kind of formulas you need to know, division, subtraction, multiplication. There's reasoning on there. When I took the test 36 years ago, it was 100 questions of all math, a little bit of reasoning. But they changed it now. So after you interview, it's a 50-question test, and then you have to do a skills test, which would be pretty much following directions, like picking up 2x4s, setting them over to another place where they tell you, climbing a scaffold, pulling a bucket, just to see if you basically can follow instructions, because a lot of our things work on, like somebody telling you go build the wall over there, whatever they're going to tell you to do. So you have to have the ability to follow instructions.
Okay, great. And is there a certain score on this test that you need to get, or?
No, I wouldn't worry about a score. Just practice the test. Mm-hmm. Go in there, and if they see that you need some other help, they're going to help you. Mm-hmm. It's not like we're saying, okay, go home and don't come back. We're there to help everybody. Okay. If the people want to be there, we want you to be in our organization. It's not anything like, no, see you later, don't ever come back again. So if you don't make it the first time, it took me 2 times, but I found out what I was lacking in. I went out and bought a book on all the formulas, and I read and I went back and I got 100% on the test. But math wasn't easy for me in high school either. Mm-hmm. I played sports. That's what I was doing. So, and I really didn't understand it probably until I was 7 years into the Carpenters, how everything works. Mm-hmm. So, I became a better person by understanding that, but it takes a little time, and we're here to help you.
And what kind of personality works best in this kind of work environment? Or are there any attributes or skills that?
Number one thing, you need to be able to work with others. Yeah, some people like to work alone. Some people like to work with others, but we work in basically a buddy system, a journeyman and an apprentice to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't send a bunch of apprentices on a job and I know what I'm doing. You can't, on a big construction site, there's safety issues, there's train. If that's the first thing you've ever done, like say, the FMB tower here, and all of a sudden you walk on that site and you're like, oh my God, what do I do?
Yeah.
But as long as you want to learn, as long as you want to be there and come every day, you'll succeed. But if you don't, then you're gonna have to go do something else. That's all I can tell you. The construction isn't for everybody. It's hard to understand. You're working outside. You're just like everybody knows what a mailman is, postal worker. He's out there every day in the winds, rain, everything. You only get paid for the hours you work. There isn't vacations. If you work 3 days, you're only getting paid for 3 days. If you only work 20 hours, you only get paid for 20 hours, unless it's a weather condition. But you have to show up to get paid. And if you don't show up, then they're going to lay you off and, they're going to tell you to go get another job, honestly, because our contractors need you to be there, whether if you're pushing a broom, if you're doing whatever, they need you to show up every single day. That's the most basic important thing to do.
And you mentioned pay. So somebody asked what they can expect along the way.
So you start out approximately $22 an hour plus your benefits and whatever. They're different. When you're a first year apprentice, they work on percentages. So every year you expect to probably, if you work enough hours and you commit to your schooling. So your school, you have to go once a quarter. You go for the whole week. Okay. And you have to be there you have to show up every day or you don't get credit or that causes disciplinary problems. So once you complete that, every year you move up. So from a first year to a second year, I'm not exactly sure. It's probably $3-4 an hour every year if you complete everything. And then by the time when you're a journeyman, after a fourth year, it's like $41 an hour plus your benefits. Total package is like something like $60. It sounds sad, or $61, whatever it actually is. So if you work every day, basically 2,000 hours, you're going to make a lot of money.
It's now.
Is this more of like seasonal work or is there year-round work available?
We work every day.
Every day.
All right.
I mean, there's some projects, if you're working outside, that could cause an issue because, if it rains one day and then you have to shut the job down, because of safety and things like that. But a lot of our work is inside.
Mm-hmm.
Another question from the chat. Do we have to purchase our own tools for programs?
Basically, you'll get basic tools in the beginning, but every year there's a tool list, the first year tool list, second year tool list, third year. You have to have those tools. So once you start working, you will be acquiring tools. You have to.
You pay for yourself.
You pay from yourself. So some programs will help with that, but there's books and things like that. But initially, it's not that much of a cost. The first thing you would have to pay would have to be your initiation fee, which it might be $60 or $70 just for the initiation fee part of it. But then you have to pay 3 months of union dues, and then union dues are $25 a month. That's what you have to pay, and so that I think it's $140 to initially. Once you get initiated, you come in. We don't bring anybody. We used to bring people in to the Carpenters, and then put them on a work list and make them they're union members. Now we don't do that anymore. Once you get through the interview process, then we bring you in. Then we put you on a list, ready to go to work list, and once that happens, you have to pay for your initiation fee, and that's how it works. And when we call you, a lot of times people, I have to give 2 weeks notice. A lot of times we have to call somebody and you have to go to work the next day. You have to be ready to go to work because those calls come in constantly, and sometimes with the weather, they don't. There's going to be things like that. We don't want you to get discouraged. We still want you to be there, but we don't want you to quit your job, number one. Keep that income source in, and then when we call, if you have to wait, then we'll see what we can do. But we want you to keep working, and hopefully you can work in the industry too. That'll give you more training, and that'll give you more help to get in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about the CARP program?
The CARP program is an 8-week program that it's 8 Saturdays. And you have to come out to our building in Robinson. And it's from, I guess, 8 until 4:30 or 7 to 3:30, one of those times. You're there all day. You work with a bunch of people trying to understand. It might be reading a tape measure. It might be working with drywall. It's going to be something that has to do with our industry, or we could be talking about paycheck, about money, about different things like that to help you get through the whole process.
Okay, great. Good. So there's like hands-on opportunity to try the different skills.
Oh yeah, I don't know what kind of power tools they work with or anything like that, but it's a program. If you make it through the 8 weeks, then we know you want to be there. So that it's not an automatic entry, but pretty much it'll help you.
Get a better chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And does that program cost money?
No.
No.
You just have to sign up for the CART program. There's another link on the site, and they bring you in and interview you. They might say, well, okay, we're full. We have enough. We'll bring you back, or however they want. That's up to the training piece of it. I don't deal with that part of it. I'm on the union side more than the apprenticeship side.
Mm-hmm.
Another question from the chat. What is the ratio of women in the apprenticeship program? Not on an office side, but like apprenticeship to become a carpenter.
Any woman's more than eligible to come in. I don't know what the numbers are on that side of it, but if you want to be a carpenter, come on. I mean, we have a thing, Sisters of the Brotherhood. There's probably 3,000 women in throughout the country like that part of it. I don't know how many's in our program right now. I couldn't tell you. But I know there's a few. When I go over, I see a few, but I don't. It's you have to want to work hard. It's not. I would never tell anybody not to do it, but it's for a woman. It's hard, and it's a different situation for you. I don't know how to explain it, but
You're working with a lot of men.
You're working with a lot of men, and I'll tell you, you're working with a lot of men, and construction isn't easy. It's rough between men, and things have changed over the years about how people are supposed to talk to people and things like that, but it's still there. It's still out there. When I was coming in, I had to carry my journeyman's toolbox. Now it's more or less our journeyman should be teaching and carrying the apprentices toolbox, because people understand things differently now than we did when growing up. So that's still out there though. It's not gonna be easy. That's why you would use our mentoring programs to talk to people in the office. We're there to help you. We're not gonna hurt you. If something's happening on the job site, we need to know about it. And most of these companies have HR departments anyway. So you're protected out there, but it's hard work. It's not easy. You work with the elements. There's a lot of heavy objects, and you have to be prepared for that.
And what are the benefits of being a union member?
Make more money than anybody else. Say you're a non-union carpenter, you can make $20 an hour. Do you want to make $40 an hour? Do you want to have a pension whenever you retire? Do you want to retire with dignity? Do you want to have like a 401k? You save that money, and then you have that whenever you retire. So it's a better way of life. You're better trained. We're the best out there. Remember one thing, if say you're an attorney or somebody has a college degree out there and you have your job and you lose your job, what are you going to do? How are you going to feed your family? Me, I could feed my family every day. I could go find a job anywhere. I could build anything for anybody. I can make money. They can never take that away from me. That's the thing you have to remember. Those are the true benefits of being in a trade, because you can always use that to support your family.
Good.
We probably have time for one more question, about 3 minutes left. I have one. You mentioned some of the.
I didn't know you're allowed. You were on a list.
Oh, actually, there is one just popped through in the chat. Could you please inform us about construction inspector, field technician, or estimator career?
So any of those fields, you're going to have to go through higher education. If you think about it, there are, I don't even know how many jobs will be in the construction industry. There's hundreds of different types of jobs. project manager, estimator, architect, any of those other positions are in a construction field. You could work in the office of a big contractor, surveyor, all those things are out there, but that doesn't come through our program. There are opportunities once you're going into our program to be an estimator or superintendent training, but that's once you become a carpenter. And you could look at all those things on the website. Just cruise through the website, and look at it and see what's there to offer, and then just make some phone calls and we'll help you out.
Is this the right website?
Yeah.
The Eastern Atlantic States. Okay.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Steve.
Okay, thank you. What's your question?
Sure. Yeah, we have time for it. You mentioned that some of the projects are like 75 miles away sometimes. Do people tend to rent an apartment for the duration of a project, or do they just commute real far?
They commute. A lot of times people carpool. They meet people on the jobs. I recommend always the network. If you would get into the Carpenters, come to the union meetings, meet people. You never know who's going to be your next boss. So, who's going to give you your next job. The more people you know, the better off you are. Your skills on the job are going to help you as well. But when you come to our meetings, we usually have 100, 150 people there. A lot of apprentices come there. You can talk to them about their experiences and, see how they've gone through the process, So that's what I recommend. I could help you out all day long, but until you're actually working with somebody and talking to somebody about the whole process, you're not really going to understand it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So for our next speaker, we have Deidra Washington. Let me go ahead and change the spotlight myself for a second. Our next speaker is Deidra Washington. Deidra, I actually didn't get.
Oh, it's my job.
Deidra, I didn't get a blurb for you, so I'll ask you to introduce yourself, but I'll keep that info for next time I'm introducing you at one of these.
Oh, okay. I would have sent you something. I'm sorry.
All good.
Yes. My name is Deidra Washington. I am the program director for the Introduction to Construction Trades program. I've been with the intro to trade construction trades for 10 years since its inception. I started as a contractor coming in and doing personal growth and professional development classes. And last year, I took the role of program director. As I said, the program has been around since 2015, and it started in the Energy Innovation Center, where we are now located again. And we had a few some travels along the way, but we are now back under Pittsburgh Gateway's Introduction to the Construction Trades program. As you can see behind me, or a slideshow of some of our classes. Our program is a 5-week program, Monday through Friday, between 8 to 12, 8 to 2 p.m., depending on what is scheduled for that day. You have to be 18 years old, have your GED. We want you to be drug-free and have a good attitude. I'm sorry, I just finished teaching a class at 12 o'clock, so it was 4 hours straight, so I'm like a little loopy.
I appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So our program is a well-rounded program. We don't just want you to be a great carpenter or great in the construction field, but an all-around person. That's why we provide personal growth, professional development, stress management, health, construction health classes to teach you how to eat to sustain your energy and to be able to work these long hours, as Steve was stating, that it's a very physically demanding job. So our program is very well-rounded because we want people to be good community members. So it's not just about the trades or the skills, but everything. Any questions?
I guess can you tell us a bit more about the a breakdown of what the weeks of the program look like?
Yes, I'm sorry. So our program is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. We expect people to be there at 7:45. And each day is important. That's why I explained to, our applicants, one day miss can be an opportunity or a great learning experience because each day is different. So on some days we have math, as you all know, Tina Burns, who's on the call, she does our math portion, which is directed towards the construction math as well as basic math. So it helps. So people who, a lot of our participants, they haven't been to school in 10, 20, sometimes 30 years. So, having this, not just a refresher, but for some, it's the first time that they actually are paying attention to the math instructor. They may have learned it in the past, but really wasn't that wasn't paying it that much attention. So they found that the math portion helps out a whole lot. Um, and we do 28 to 30 hours of math per 5-week cohort. We also, like I said, have health, construction health, which helps with, recognizing, when your body's fatigued and how to eat for energy and not just to eat, and foods that will help you with your energy and just help you be healthier and live, and do a better job physically. And we then stress management under that, as well as our personal growth and professional development. Um, we visit different sites. We go to the Carpenters Union, we go to the operators, the iron workers. We visit different sites each class, to not only, so they can visit, but to get a hands-on and a feel of what it would be like to work in that position, and a chance to meet with, the different union reps, to get to ask them personal questions about that field. And we also have a relationship with PennDOT, UPMC. They're building a big Presby University. Because UPMC is building a big Presbyterian hospital in Oakland. So we visit that and tour the site as well. We have a relationship with the Pittsburgh Water Authority, and we visit their different sites, and they have a new apprenticeship program coming for building engineers as well as for, plumbing. So we are working to build a better relationship with them, and also with the new airport. We've had um, think 5 classes at the new airport, and we actually had classes, and we actually have classes in the airport, the old terminal. And after some of the participants finished our course, they were able to go work at the airport. And then we also have some working on the UPMC site, who have been, our previous students who have been there years, for some years.
Can you tell us a bit more about the main advantages of joining Intro to the Construction Trades? How do people move from joining this program to placement in a job?
So, so we have a 98% graduation rate and a 77 to 78% union people placed into unions. The reason why I believe our program is one of the best in the country. We have been recognized nationally by NAP2 and from different organizations, is because we care. Not stating that anyone else, but it's a full, it's not just about getting a person a job, like I stated, but helping individuals become, deal with other issues in their life as well, because we realize that most people who are not successful in work or professionally, or why people lose their jobs, it's not because of professional reasons, but because of personal issues. So we try to work on those, and help people recognize those while they're in the program, to work on both at the same time so they can be successful once they are um, placed in a union. And also, I believe because of the vision, the vision for this program was not just about creating skilled individuals, but provide an opportunity. And the two people who founded well, you all know Mr. Ron Sapp, and Miss Shakita, uh, they care about people and they care about the community, their community, and wanting to see people grow. And and since he's a former, operating engineer, retired operating engineer, he has built relationships with different unions over the years. So his relationship with the unions, as well as his um, reputation for making sure people are ready to move into the unions, because we will not give a letter of recommendation, and unless that person is ready. And in order to get the letter of recommendation, you must be here every day on time with a good attitude and drug free. I mean, you don't
So
have
that
to have perfect attendance, but
Mhm.
you're allowed to miss up to 3 days, but your attendance record should be very, like in order to get it, you must have, those things in order.
So the letter of recommendation really carries a lot of weight to getting into apprenticeship programs.
Yes.
There's a question in the chat about Robinson location. I'm not sure if that's directed at you or at the previous speaker, Steve. Is there anything going on in Robinson for Intro to the Construction Trades?
Well, we have a partnership with the Allegheny Airport Authority, where we have classes at the airport. But I think they may be talking about the Carpenters Union, which is in Robinson.
Oh,
Their
the CARP
their
program.
training center, yeah, their
Mm,
training centers in Robinson.
okay. So yeah, I guess for clarity, Intro to the Construction Trades is a pre-apprenticeship for lots of different trades, correct?
Yeah, so you can, choose to go into any of the 17 skilled trades that are in our region. And although we only visit maybe 5 different union trades a year, I mean, each cohort, most of if the ones that we don't visit, a lot of the union representatives will come to our class and speak to our students personally. Like if they have questions, like we have the electricians that'll come in, and then we have retired members who, like retired carpenters who help with tools training and the MC3 with the math, as well as sitting in with mock interviews. We, our relationships have grown and are very, um, I would say, it's because of trust, because the people that we send, we make sure that they are um, team players.
Thank you. What are some of the most common placements, or I don't know if placement is the right word, but the apprenticeships that people successfully get into, what are some of the most common ones?
Well, they pick what they want. So most people will come in um, saying they want to be a carpenter, because I guess, that's the one that they hear about the most. And that's the one that most people know. We know carpenters, plumbers, and electricians. So I would say carpenters is one of the high um, unions that we have a lot of people going to, as well as the operating engineers. We get probably 2 to 3 electricians a year, um, but mainly the carpenters and the operating engineers. And we had a few painters, and we get a lot of people who go into the laborers union. And I also, advise for a lot of people, maybe the laborers union is a great place for people to go into if they haven't, picked the craft, or if they are not, you know, going to, like, they don't feel called to any of them, because it's also, you get a great, living wage. They're in a union, they have, similar benefits, and you actually get to learn more on a construction site, because you're the first one there and the last one to leave, and you probably assist many different skilled crafts. So you get to learn a little bit, and maybe 5 years, we've had people working in labors for 3, 4 years, and then decide after like a couple of years, like maybe I do want to try to go be an operating engineer.
So the
And by
laborers can
that
be
time,
a good job in itself, but also a jumping off point for something else.
Exactly.
There's a question in the chat. Where is the training campus in Pittsburgh?
So we're located in the Pittsburgh Gateways Energy Innovation Center, 1435 Bedford Avenue. That's in the Lower Hill District. So if you're familiar with the Console Energy, where the Penguins play, we're in that same block, but we're a few streets over. We're in the old Conley Trade School. So
Okay,
the Conley Trade School.
so near the near PPG Arena.
Correct. We're right near, like, before you get on any of the parkways, 376, 279.
And you said there's also lots of days out at the airport as well. Students split their time between the two locations.
Yes, well, we have um, two different tracks. Well, not, I wouldn't say tracks. We have a few cohorts a year that we work directly with the airport, where, as you can see in the picture behind me, where they will spend some time at where you're located, and then we'll spend probably 25 to 40% at the airport. But the transportation is provided. So they will meet here, and then there's a school bus that they take to the airport. And there's a classroom that they have set up, a training room set up for us. As well as there's other opportunities at the airport. They have emergency fire safety, like they actually set the plane on fire and teach people how to, put it out, just and other things that they can do if they want to go into the airport. They don't have to go into a skilled trade, but there's other union opportunities. Like baggage handler and people who work on, the transport and different, things there. They have opportunities for those positions as well. Oh, and also we not only do we do the trades, but we do provide OSHA 10. You get an OSHA 10 certification, um, CPR, MC3. That's the multi-craft core curriculum by NAPTU. So that's a nationally recognized curriculum for pre-apprenticeship training, and it's one of the most recognized apprenticeship readiness curriculums. So normally when you have a certificate from MC3, then it's recognized by the unions and contractors.
And speaking of transportation, so it sounds like the ones, like as long as you can get to the Energy Innovation Center, that's fine even for the airport cohorts, because they'll shuttle you out to the airport.
Yes, but we do require, well, it's strongly encouraged to have your driver's license. Well, you need your driver's license and a reliable vehicle. As Steve said earlier, you don't know where you may work.
Mhm.
Right now, we've been lucky to have a lot of construction going on in the city. So a lot of work is, within city limits, but a lot of work, you may not work near your home. So having reliable transportation is a big factor, but definitely
Um,
having your driver's license.
a question I had, people might not know what the laborers union does. What kind of jobs does a laborers union member tend to do on work sites?
So they usually are the people that go in and clean the site up, get it prepared for the other workers. There's some laborers that assist the different trades, like they may assist um, the carpenter with holding something or tools, but they make sure that the site is ready for work, and then at the end make sure that all the debris and everything is removed. And
And
other things, they have a lot of other things too.
another question I had, even doing testing for intro to the construction trades, as long as I have, I still don't know what an operating engineer is. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so as Mr. Ron will say, it's the best union out there. But the operating engineers are all the big machine equipment that you see, all the cranes and um, the dump trucks. They're the ones that operate all the heavy equipment. They're called heavy equipment operators. So they are the ones that all like move. There's big dirt movers, or they call them not dirt movers, but I can't think.
Is it excavators?
Yeah, they have excavators, but there's a really big one that they call um, earth movers, like
Mhm.
because they can, like live like move mountains of stuff. So they are the ones who operate all of the equipment, and when you see them on the highway, the big machines on it, when you see them, anytime you get on a turnpike, those are the heavy equipment operators. So you have to have a CDL for that position, so you must have driver's license, of course, um, in order to go into that position.
Bernard might be typing another question, but in the meantime, there's the question, do you train plumbers?
So we don't train anyone. Let that be clear. So yes, you can go into the plumbers union. And we do have a relationship with the plumbers union. Um, we are a pre-apprenticeship or apprenticeship readiness program. So we get you ready so you will be successful to interview and to pass the test and to do well in whatever craft that you choose. But we work with all of the skilled crafts, the plumbers, the electricians, carpenters, um, all of them, iron workers, steam fitters. So we work with insulators, we work with all of them. Uh, but we don't train specifically for any one craft. It's more of a generalization of getting you ready for it. And when you become an apprentice, they do all the skill training for that position. Now, for the carpenters, we do, and I guess it would be for the laborers as well. We do a tools training to get you familiar with tools, but can probably parlay into any of the others too. And like we go to the welding, to the iron workers, they get to, do they to participate and climb the iron pole, and at the operators they get on some of the machines and and work with them. And we also have a virtual reality class. So because that's where a lot of uh, not just the trades, but different organizations, different professions are moving towards virtual reality training because it's safer and you can get the training without and be, make the mistakes without paying the price for the mistakes. So their top three, we have them pick their top three choices of what trade or craft you want to study or go into, and they get to actually experience it with virtual reality. We've had one person in the previous cohort who wanted to be an iron worker, but after they did the virtual reality and they realized that they were afraid of heights because they were, so they changed their mind, of course. And like even like the operating engineers, they have virtual reality machines to like so you can, do your hand-eye coordination.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
I have a question about, I guess just to clarify, Intro to the Construction Trades is a pre-apprenticeship. It's some of those baseline skills, but the actual skilled work training would be in their apprenticeship then.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Um, what are some of the qualities that most guarantee success for a Intro to the Construction Trades participant?
I'm a person who is motivated to get up every day, come to work on time, and have a good attitude. Um, Everything else is trained. You can be trained for, but and being open to learn and for growth.
What are
Like,
some of the, oh, go ahead.
no, that's okay. Go ahead.
What are some of the hardest parts of Intro to the Construction Trades or the transition to apprenticeship? Um,
I would say getting used to getting up on time and being ready. Um, that's why, Mr. Braun, that's why we used to start at 9, but we changed it to 8, and it's really 7:45 because if you're not on time, if you're not early, you're not on time. To start getting people used to getting up in the morning. And that's what a lot of our participants say at the end. They say at first, I didn't think I would be able to get up every day and be here on time. And these were the people, these are some of the people that come at 7 an hour early now. Just, getting acclimated to, working, 7 to 10 hours a day. So those are the things I think that you first have to get your mindset right. And once it clicks, they're very successful. But I would say, just for a lot of our participants, they say, just getting used to getting up and out the house before 6 o'clock was the hardest thing to get used to. That's why we make sure the class, that people are early for the class.
thank you. Um, I've asked all of my questions. The group in general, please feel free to unmute or type something in the chat. Any last questions for Deidra? Gonna give that a second.
And as you can see behind me, like there's like that would be an operating engineer's. This is at the airport when the first stages of building a new airport. So they were right there on site. So we had the training center that was in the old terminal, but we also had them work with side by side with the skilled trades that were working at the airport. So they would have lunch with them and work side by side with the employers.
A
Oh,
few questions came in.
mhm.
I think the most important two are requirements questions. Is there an age limit, and do we have to pay? If so, how much?
So the only age limit is you have to be 18 years old and have a high school diploma or GED. Other than that, if you are physically able to do, we have people in our class over 50 all the time, and I say you get that, but we have it all the time. Um, and actually, we pay you, so it is a cost to the program, but fortunately, right now we still have funding to so you don't have to pay, but you do get $50. You get $50 a day stipend. It's not a paycheck. It's just that we know that this is during working hours for a lot of people, and so we try to offset, gas prices, whatever to help, get through the 5 weeks.
Thank you. And then one other question on here. Um, I'm not exactly sure what it means, but the question is construction materials testing skill. Um, I guess is that construction materials testing? Um, uh, is that a is that a skill that is in any of these unions, I guess?
Construction, I'm not following,
That's okay. I guess
but
the other question at the bottom here, how long does it take in a day? How long are each of these?
we're 8 to 12 generally, but there are some days that last 8 to 2, depending on what. So about 40%, 30 to 40% of the time will be 8 to 2 p.m., 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. But the majority of the days, the other 60%, you'll get out at 12.
Okay. Well, um, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For everyone on the call, please stay on for a moment. Our speakers, Steve and Deidra, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You two are free to go while we sort out the paperwork stuff, but everyone else on the call, I'm going to put up a form. I'm going to put up a form for to receive more information from these speakers or to ask for more information. So when you see that pop up on your screen. Please answer those questions and submit it to us so that we know what kind of information you're looking for, and that the speakers have permission to reach out to you with more information. Once you've submitted that, then you're free to leave the call. But thank you to both of our speakers, and thank you to everyone on the call for joining us. If you have any questions about that survey, that piece of information, that release of information, feel free to ask me out loud or in the chat. But yeah, once you have submitted that piece of paperwork, you're free to go. Thank you.